Hello, welcome to episode 191 of Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are drowning in the details of their personal and professional lives to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. And while I talk a lot about decluttering and organizing and productivity, today is just a reminder to give yourself credit. I had a hard time titling this podcast because I want you to acknowledge all the good you do, and I want to emphasize the value in what might appear to be insignificant, but I also want to emphasize that we don't need credit to matter and to be happy. So take this however it feels best, but my main goal is just to offer some perspective and encouragement today. I think we can all use it. In our April Arise call, that's our membership here at Learn, Do, Become, we talked about the nuts and bolts of dreaming. And I asked our group of arisers to share what helped a dream from the past to come to fruition. Because if you look at your life right now, at least some part of that was a dream at one time. And I know that feels a little hard to believe sometimes. You're like, I'm not living the dream. But at least part of it is something that you did want in the past, because all of us are learning and growing. And one thing I noticed was that we as a group of arisers had to define the words dream and success a little bit more, because we often think of things like writing a bestseller or doing an Ironman or becoming famous or notable. But dreams are often far less tangible, and they often are only noticed by a small number of people or sometimes just ourselves. And sometimes our efforts might not be clear for years. In fact, I have a friend who told me recently that he wished that he'd been more successful. And in my heart, it just kind of hurt, because I get what he's talking about. There's some specific things he wished he was more successful in. But I hope that he can see all the ways that he is successful, and he has been successful, and he will be, even if certain goals aren't achieved, right? So as we organize our projects and tasks and build our command centrals here at Learn, Do, Become, I just want to make sure we see the beauty of what we as life architects are creating along the way. So I'm going to share 3 stories with you today. First story is called Juventa and the Trees. Okay, sending a big shout out to Juventa. She's one of our risers. And she posted this incredible story of a dream of hers that literally took years to come true. And she wasn't even the direct beneficiary. So with her permission and actually her participation, I'm going to turn a few minutes of the podcast over to her. She recorded her own story. Isn't that fun? And so take it away, Juventa.
I've always been a huge dreamer, but sometimes have had a hard time feeling like I've accomplished my dreams. As I worked on organizing my photos today, I realized that some dreams take time and are not meant for us, but for those who come after us. In a way, I have always been a sower most of my life. We have moved every 5 years or so over the last 25 years. Our current home of 6 years is the longest we've ever been in one place. Our moves always seemed to be just in time for my fruit trees to be loaded, as well as my gardens to be at the point of a bountiful harvest. It was hard saying goodbye, even though I knew that the new owners would benefit from my labor. In our first single-family home, we backed up to a stormwater easement. It was an exceptionally wet year when we moved in, and the easement filled up with water, creating a drowning hazard for my little kids. The water remained there for several years, creating a tiny pond that ducks would frequent. Unfortunately, it also housed swarms of mosquitoes, which proved to be difficult for our family. I spent many months at the city offices trying to find a solution to the filled-up easement, to no avail. We even met with a civil engineer, but our plans were not approved by the city. Over time, I became bitter that this problem hadn't been disclosed to us when we purchased the house. In addition to this, we also backed up to a highway, which was super loud, and I felt like we had little privacy and safety. I pondered over our situation for a very long time and worried about it constantly. Then one night, I had a dream, a literal dream. In it, I was sitting on my back deck, and instead of seeing a highway and a water-filled storm easement, I saw a beautiful forest of trees. There was such a peaceful feeling to the property, and I felt overcome with emotion. It was a strong enough dream that it woke me up out of a dead sleep. After I woke up, I couldn't shake the vision from my mind. I realized that while I didn't have control over many things, There were things that I could do. Having very little money, I decided to get 10 free trees from the Arbor Day Foundation. When they arrived, it was a tiny pack of 1-foot tall sticks. A little disappointed but determined, I prepped the earth, and with the help of my husband, kids, and mother-in-law, we planted all 10 trees. I then saved up to get 4 larger evergreen trees to plant along the back near the easement. I surrounded my property as well as the easement with the trees. I realized that the trees could provide not only a sound barrier, but also a natural way to soak up some of the water and prevent erosion. Every day I imagined what the full-grown trees would look like and pled for them to grow quickly. They received much love and care. Over time, the water in the easement began abating. Oh, how I longed for my forest. But then the day came when we had to move. The trees were still tiny. We left having never seen the fulfillment of my dream. I felt like I had failed. We eventually moved to the West Coast, and as things happened, it had been almost 2 decades since I had visited my old home. In 2021, I finally had the opportunity to go back and see it. My sister drove me down the highway so that I could see our house from the back. I was shocked that I couldn't find it. We drove back and forth several times, and then I finally saw the rooftop of our old home. Not only had my trees grown up, but many others grew as well, filling up the easement and creating a beautiful forest. While I didn't want to bother the new owners for a view outside the deck, I was able to see the front of the home. It felt like a beautiful cottage nestled in the woods. The view of the highway was completely hidden, and I heard the sounds of nature surrounding me. I felt tears well up in my eyes when I saw it. I guess my dream wasn't for me after all, but for those who came afterwards. Some dreams are hard to visualize or realize, but seeing this property gave me hope that there is a bigger plan than just mine, and that my small efforts truly amounted to something great.
I got chills when I read Javenta's account and saw her photos, and we actually have a little carousel of photos that are uploaded on the show notes page, learndobecome.com/episode 191. So you can see everything from the planting of the trees to the huge forest that was built or that was grown. It was amazing. So you can go see that on the website. And really, I wasn't the only one who got the chills. People in Arise were all commenting saying, oh my goodness, just reading your story meant so much to me. And I think that her experience taps into that part of us that hopes our efforts will make a difference. And the wonder and awe that comes when we see a power beyond our own transform our little saplings into full-fledged trees. And thinking about her experience over the past week or so, I've been noticing little saplings everywhere. I hope that you're starting to feel that excitement and noticing that in your own life as well. Okay, second story. This is called Leah's Book. Our daughter Aaliyah became friends with Leah back in middle school. Leah was adopted from China, and when she first came to America, she didn't speak English. She was essentially starting her education from scratch, and she needed to move around in a wheelchair. But she had a huge smile and so much love to offer, and during lunchtime, the girls would braid each other's hair, and Leah and Aaliyah would exchange notes in each other's lockers throughout the weeks and months. And we even had a privilege of hosting Leah's first friend birthday party at our home back in, where we lived when they were in middle school. And it was one of the sweetest things I have ever experienced. We have a couple of photos on the show notes page that show Leah with her birthday cake. And you just see this huge smile and all the friends gathered together. I mean, seriously, I just look at these pictures right now and I can't even tell you how much it means. Well, Leah had a dream for a long time about writing a book that would encourage others. Now, her life, we've learned as she shared more details with us, was beyond challenging as she was growing up. Honestly, as I read some of it and talked with my daughter about it, we just get choked up thinking how resilient Leah is and how positive and hopeful She is, in spite of what she's been through, because I don't know if I would be able to come through those things like she did. We are literally amazed by her positive outlook and her ability to make something beautiful out of something that could, very well, by all accounts, be considered heartbreaking. And over the past few months, Leah and Aaliyah have been working together and just letting me participate a little bit here and there to write a children's book. And the other day, Aaliyah let us read the most recent draft and showed us a few of the illustrations that they've had commissioned. And we put a couple of the illustrations here on the show notes page. You just please go to the show notes page. I want you to see Juventus trees, and I want you to see these pictures of Leah and of her book. Oh my gosh, so cute. And I can't even articulate how I feel as I see this book coming to life. It is beyond inspiring to me, so full of beauty and hope and all that is good in the world. And this is just another one of those little examples of something that's not, it's not a marathon or something, on the front page of the biggest news outlets. And it's like these little quiet acts of service and this work right now that we're watching Leah do, taking her heart and creating something to help others. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Okay, third story. A friend who created a home for those with no place to go. Eric and I were able to travel with our daughter a couple of weeks ago to visit some friends that she met while on her church humanitarian mission. This is kind of up in the Seattle area. We were amazed by each family we met. Literally, it was like we were going from house to house to house. Most of the trip was just being with these beautiful people that she'd gotten to know. And we were just impressed and full of love and just gratitude the whole time we were visiting. But there's just one woman in particular whose story had a very profound impact on me, and I just want to share a little bit of it today, kind of anonymously. But she'd had a difficult upbringing and has overcome several personal challenges that she had throughout her teens and her early adult years. And today, she's providing a home for her two younger brothers, and they're adults, but they're now clean from their drug addictions. And she's also caring for her two nephews, whose mother is currently in a drug rehab center. So we sat with her in her home for, about 45 minutes. And as we're there, she was coordinating the dinner for her family, and she was snuggling her nephews who kept running back and forth and jumping in her lap. And she's kind of provided an update on how things were going. Now, all of this has come with a lot of sacrifice on her part. She put some of her other goals on hold so she could be available for her family. And I'm just watching her and seeing how much love and tenderness and energy and thought and support she's giving to these brothers and these nephews. And she was taking care of herself too, but having to make, some pretty significant adjustments to be able to be available. But one phrase she said went right to my heart. She said, "Everyone needs to know that they have a place to go." And I don't know if she can currently see how remarkable she is, because she spoke about her work and her efforts as though they weren't that big of a deal. But really, when you open your heart and invest your energy in the support of others, whether they benefit now or in the future, that is a really big deal. And I'm sure as I've told these few stories, you can think of even more examples that you've seen in your own life. And the reason I wanted to highlight these was because in the productivity and business and organization space, there is so much emphasis on getting more done, being faster, excelling in efficiency, and achieving things that will bring admiration, praise, and status. When I go look online, and I love learning, so I'm always checking out different YouTube channels and different podcasts, and I'm reading books, and I'm going to conferences, and I'm exploring all these things. And the typical message that I get over and over again is, you can make yourself more fabulous and more admired if you follow what I say, right? And yes, I want you to finish your projects and lists. And if you want to run an Ironman or you want to write a bestseller, more power to you. That's great. I want you to feel that powerful sense of progress in your life. And that's going to look different for each one of us. I want you to get out of the mental and physical piles that can so easily weigh us down. But at the root of it all, Learn, Do, Become is about moving forward on the things that matter most. And sometimes when I say, well, things that matter most, well, what does that mean? It really, this is where it's unique. It's what matters most for you, for your alignment with your higher power, for your unique purpose, for your season in life, for your current situation and your community. Because yeah, achieving some really prestigious award might be what matters most to someone right now in their career, in their, life circumstance. And that's great. Like, I have nothing against people getting awards and being prestigious. And I'll applaud them and cheer them on and tell them what a good job. But I also just want to make sure that we don't, as a society, look at the people who get the awards and who are on the front of the stage and see them as the only definition of success. Because planting trees, taking a traumatic childhood and turning it into a book to encourage others, taking care of family members, making dinner, right? Doing all these things, that matters too. And that's successful too. And so getting organized and clearing clutter is a beautiful process, and it will free up your time so you can pursue your dreams and live by your heart and make the contributions that only you can make. But the purpose is so that you can then do with your life what you were uniquely created to do. I love having a clean house. Right now, I have no piles anywhere. It's the best feeling. Well, I mean, not the best feeling, but it's a great feeling. I love waking up and making my bed and having a clean room. And I like walking through the house and just having order and not having any clutter. I like when people come to the door, I can just open the door and invite them in. I like that I can sit down at my desk and get to work and my brain isn't all stressed out about things and I don't have thousands of emails and I have a really focused list. I like that when I am with my family, I'm 100% present. I can enjoy time with Eric. We took our son out last night for his 20th birthday. I got to go have dinner with him. We went shopping together and I'm fully present, just enjoying the chance to be with my son. We've had a lot of things going on here. Spencer just got his Eagle Award, so we had the Court of Honor, and Aaliyah had her baby shower up at her mother-in-law's house, which was so lovely. And Grace turned 21. We had her birthday, and we just had all these just beautiful family moments where we're just together and we can love being a family. And I don't have to have that constant worry, that everything's just falling apart around me. And I want you to have that too. Because while there is definitely a balance of the work and the care and the challenges and the sickness and the, catastrophes that do hit, when you have your life in order, you're just going to feel better. I love you and this community so much. And Eric and I just had the best talk this morning. I was like, okay, Eric, I've been doing a lot of thinking. He loves those conversations. He's like, oh my gosh, you have so much on your mind. I'm like, I know, but it's going to be a really good conversation. And so I was able to share some things with him. We were able to talk a lot about the goals and the dreams that I have for us here in STEP and in Arise and what we're doing in our Learn to Become community. I love it. And I think the biggest, heartache for me is just that I've just been wondering, how do I step in and do what is my purpose without sacrificing my family? How do I do that? Anyway, I'm getting some good ideas and it's moving forward. So I feel really, really thrilled about that. So thank you for being with me. And then just 2 step wins before I close. A STEP is our program, Steps to Everyday Productivity. Our community is called Steppers. They name themselves, and I love it. So if you are a stepper and you want to have a step win, then listen to these stories, and hopefully you'll feel inspired. So first, one of our 4 Weeks to Finished members recently shared their experience with breaking down larger projects into more manageable steps, and it's so encouraging. Okay, so here's what they said. I still have a long ways to go, but I just experienced something powerful. I have a huge project that I've been feeling completely overwhelmed with. I was very reluctant to even start it because I felt it was hard to keep everything that was needed for it in mind at one time. I spent an hour or 2 taking it through the project planning worksheet, and that mountain blew up. Now the little pieces of the mountain are laying on the ground, and they're so small I can pick them up and hold them. Translation, that huge project through the project planning worksheet was just transformed into smaller sub-projects. And each sub-project was turned into its own project with bite-sized, manageable next action steps that I feel at peace with. Now, moving from one of those sub-projects to the next is faster and simpler. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And project planning, this is where, I know I kind of geek out on this, but I think it's so fun. When you learn how to take something that feels huge and break it down, you just think, okay, now I can see the path. And I can see how I can actually get it done without feeling totally overwhelmed. That's a game changer for most people. In our free training, you can learn the first principles of that. That's at learndobecome.com/step. So if you're brand new, go check that out. We also have a link to that on our show notes page. So when you come look at the pictures, you can just sign up for the free training. And then another step win, as Liz was getting started with the STEP program, she was able to see some amazing wins from the very beginning. So way to go, Liz. We are excited for her progress, and I want to share what she said. I'm still on step 1, but this is miraculous. Waiting for a letter bin to store my supporting materials, the 2 piles. That's what she had ordered, the letter bin. I've deleted 5,000 emails today, paid a long overdue medical bill. It was a 2-minute thing, and wrote to my 2 sponsored kids today when I found their emails among the weeds. This really works. And then she has a little photo of her desk, and she has a whiteboard with her current projects on it. And she's got her command central that she's built and her little computer and everything right there. And I just, as I see these little command centrals just popping up around the world, and I'm watching people say, this is miraculous. Look, my mountains are just tiny little next actions now. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm moving forward. It's not because we need like praise and, oh, look how awesome I am. It's not like that. It's this woman, Liz, sponsors 2 children, and now she's able to connect with them because she's not overwhelmed by the emails. Now she's able to pay that medical bill so that when she goes to sleep at night, her mind isn't like, oh, shoot, I got that medical bill I need to pay, right? When you learn how to just handle all those little details and get out of the overwhelm, what happens is it starts to unlock your unique abilities. And, I was thinking a lot about who we really serve here at Learn, Do, Become. And while I do have this dream of a command central on every desk, I really want a command central on the desk of the people who want to put good into the world. Because someone who just wants to hurt the world, they could use a command central to cause more hurt. But you, the people here at Learn, Do, Become, who have these big hearts and who are willing to serve and lift and support and love and encourage, I want you to have a STEP command central, because then you can balance your professional work and your personal work and the family needs, and it's not going to feel like this constant whirlwind. So I love our members. I love working with you, and I so appreciate you. If you're thinking, okay, how do I get more involved at Learn, Do, Become? First, so our STEP class is kind of the first place most people go. It's on our homepage right now, or learndobecome.com/step. You can just check out that free training, or you can go to our website. We have a little programs page. You can learn more about just jumping into the STEP program. That's going to show you how to build a command central. And then the other program we offer is our Arise membership. And I'm actually very encouraged and excited. We just put out a survey and asked people, what do you like about Arise? Arise just turned 2 years old. So we did the survey and asked, what do you like? What do you want more of? How can we help you implement it more? How can we make it more bite-sized? Like, what can we do? And the responses were so good. So now I'm thinking, okay, all right, I can do this. So I'm making it into a project and little sub-projects, right? So that it's not overwhelming to me and the team. But great things are coming in Arise. So hopefully you can learn more about that. We currently have a 7-day free trial. I don't know how long we're going to do a free trial. I'm kind of thinking maybe we should just invite people to just come right in. But right now we have a free 7-day trial. So you can go to learndobecome.com/arise. If you're listening to this way later and there isn't a free trial, please still come in. It's going to be amazing and worth whatever, we charge for it. We just want to make sure that you are being served as well as we can serve you at Learn, Do, Become. And there's also that process of making an investment in yourself. Yes, there's tons of free stuff. We have our YouTube channel and our podcast and our website, and we send out encouraging things in our newsletter each week, and we love you and everyone who's part of our free community. Amazing. We're just happy you're here. But when you invest in yourself, there's something that happens that kind of increases that commitment level and ultimately helps you to get better results because now you have more of that support. So, variety of ways to participate. Sending a huge, huge hug. Hope you have a great day. Please share this podcast. And if you don't mind, if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can rate us, if you like us, that's actually really helpful. You can leave a 5-star review, hopefully. Let us know about your own step wins, how you've actually implemented what you've learned here at Learn, Do, Become in your life. That'd be awesome. Okay, huge hug. We'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.